I'm Danielle. I am a mother of two very special little boys. AB is 3.5, John is 1.5. I'm a proud co-owner of a small business in Pretoria, and I'm married to AB, who's a cricketer. Yes, and we're very happily living in Pretoria. There are quite a few challenges. I think just getting used to what is a new normal and coming to terms with the fact that this is what life will be like going forward. But if I have to pinpoint something that was quite difficult for me, was at about when little Abby was about 2 or 3 months old, and my husband was on tour and I was home alone, and he was slightly colicky, and I started struggling with milk supply, so breastfeeding became very, very difficult for me. Phoning my mom at 2 o'clock in the morning and with a crying baby who won't sleep. But as with everything in life, we got past that, and we tried every kind of solution, and we found something that worked, and we were able to continue our breastfeeding journey, for which I'm very grateful. And yeah, so I would say that was quite a big challenge. There's so many funny moments. Actually, kids just make you laugh. The older they get, the more personality they get, and the more they make you laugh. But if I have to think back to, like, literally coming home from the hospital, and this is not actually something funny that happened, it was just a special funny moment between my husband and I. We had this tiny little human, and you don't know before you leave the hospital that they actually lose a few grams from when they were born to when they go home. So he was tiny, and it was our first night at home, and he woke up at about 2 a.m. and we both jumped up, and we got up and we put him on the edge of the bed, and we had nappies and everything, and we just looked at him, and we didn't know, like, what are we supposed to do now? Like, does someone change the nappy? Does someone... And we just looked at him and left him, and we looked at each other and we just burst out laughing, and yeah, and took it from there. But a little humor goes a long way, so yeah, it actually helped. It helped us manage. Yeah, sometimes I look back and I picture moments of me being alone with AB, the little AB, and then with two, and I can't really pinpoint how I did it or how it worked. It must be God, because He's everything to me, so, and gives me strength. But what I also can say contributed to survival is a very good support system. So my mom would be number one, right at the top of the list, being able to phone her at any time, and yeah, just somebody that's there, that's telling you you're okay and you're doing a good job. Yeah, a support system is very important. I would say there's a little voice in your head or in your heart, wherever you hear it from, and chances are that little voice is right. So if you're worried about something, or you're unsure if there's a tooth but you think it might be, you don't know if there's a fever but something doesn't feel right, or people are telling you he's not cold but you think he is cold, chances are you're right. You won't think that you are, but you're the mom of that little baby, and you were the chosen one to raise him or her. So just trust your instinct. That's a quite tricky question, obviously, because there's a lot of things you need. So I'm going to not talk about all the basics. And a lot of products come in a lot of different forms. My favorite product right now would be the portable nebulizer from BabyWombWorld, because it just works so well. And it's like, yeah, it's so tiny, I can take it anywhere. It's so easy to use. It's so easy to put the medicine in. It's just an on and off button. I can replace the batteries. I don't have to charge it. There's a million reasons. And yeah, if you've struggled with a massive nebulizer from an old pharmacy that, I mean, I tried to use one of those once, and it's like, it shouldn't be so complicated. And this one is just very easy to use and strangely cheaper than those big ones. So yeah, that's my favorite. And also while breastfeeding, and there's a lot of reasons for this, but I really feel if you choose to be a breastfeeding mom, which well done for you, it's so good for your children. Obviously you need a good breast pump. So yeah, if you find a good breast pump, hold on to it, because what that means for you is you can drop the kids off and have 2 or 3 hours for yourself or for you and your husband, which is so important. And yeah, just some time to find you. So it's actually a larger picture that I'm sketching over here, but the breast pump will help you to have time for yourself to just find you again, and I found that very important. Okay, I think it also depends on whether your baby breastfeeds like from you the whole time, in which case a single pump would be fine. That was the case with me, so I just did both at the same time, and I did it early in the morning, and then during the night, you know, the baby would be drinking. So, but I do recommend a double breast pump, because you never know, maybe you're away. So I think that feature is important. And also, I used to use one where I always needed to be close to a PowerPoint. So, which is fine when you're at home and you're sitting on your bed and your phone charger and everything and your bedside table is right there, but it's not always that convenient. So if there is one that you can find that you don't need that, then even better. Another thing that I could say is, especially if you've got a sleeping baby, very helpful if it doesn't make a noise. So if it's a silent one, and test it, because they might say that it's silent and it's not, then you're winning all round. So yeah. So well, obviously, apart from the basics, I've got an amazing, yes, so this is a, if you've got it's like a pouch that unfolds, and then it's got pockets on the side for your wipes and your bum cream and nappies. That works amazingly, especially if you're going into a public place and it's a little bit dirty and your baby can lie on there. That's one thing. Obviously, nappies are always in there. At the moment, I always need like snacks or something in my nappy bag, crackers, or if I'm really desperate, like a chewy sweet or something that will make them quiet just for 5 minutes while I need to do something. It also depends on which child. Like my oldest took a dummy, so I couldn't go anywhere without his dummy. My youngest refused it from day one, so I never needed to pack that. And then always an extra set of clean clothes. Very important. The day that you don't pack it in is the day that you will desperately need a new set of clothes. Yeah. I actually noticed the difference more now that my youngest is a toddler, because now I've got, instead of one busy boy running around in the house and playing and throwing toys around, there's two. So that does add to the chaos, but it also contributes to the amount of love in the house. So there's absolutely no reason to complain. We love a busy, happy family. But as referring to when the baby comes into the house, for us, there wasn't really much of a change. It was just, it felt very natural. John was a much easier baby than little Abby, so he sort of just fell into our routine, which is actually a lack of routine, and he handled that very well. He was just a very peaceful, lovable little boy, so we were lucky in that regard to have him. Since turning 1, he is not as peaceful and not as calm, so yeah, things are, like I said, much more chaotic, but we're enjoying it, so yeah. There are so many. I always get so upset when I go to a baby shower and there's a new mom, and all that she hears is, "Oh, you're never gonna sleep again," and "Oh," or whatever. Like, there are so many joys about being a mom that it just totally overshadows the sometimes lack of sleep, or a little bit of crying, or so before I start, the joys definitely overshadow the difficult parts of being a mom. For me, hands down, the cuddles and the way and the extent to which they just love you. Like, you are their mom, and they just love you, and the way they light up when they see your face in the morning, and the way they light up when you pick them up from school, and putting them to bed every night. And now, especially when my husband is away, I've got both of them next to me, and it's sometimes exhausting, but they tend to sort of fight over me, and it sounds so weird, but they need to be holding on to somewhere, and they both want a hand or an arm or a shoulder or something. And it's just because they just want to be so close to you. And it's moments like that you can just, like, if you could eat them up, I would. But so it's those moments, the cuddles. And this has happened to me so many times, especially on airplanes. I don't like it when other people, and funnily enough, they could be parents, and some of them are not parents and have not had children, and they try to give you advice and they try to tell you what to do. And this last part is very important, when you haven't asked. So if I ask for advice, absolutely, I'm very open to criticism and advice and help, and I will ask for it if I need it. But if I'm just a little bit flushed or whatever, and I'm just trying to make this moment work, and someone out of the blue comes to tell me what they think I should do, can annoy me a little bit, because I feel strongly there is no perfect way to be a parent. Your child is your child for a reason. You are their mom or dad, and you will know best what to do with that baby or toddler or child. So I'm co-owner with my friend Renee, and we were just chatting one day. Little Abby was about 2, and I like to go out and drink coffee with my friends and go for a nice lunch. And I just started, the older he got, and the more he started running around and not being able to sit still, which is not his fault at all. It's a child thing. That just became harder, and we sort of started chatting and saying, but why is there not a place? I mean, there's so many parents, so many people with small children. Why is there not a place catering for that? Like a place that offers an opportunity for an adult to sit and enjoy a cup of coffee or a glass of wine or whatever, knowing that their child is fine, happy, safe, playing and burning some energy and doing healthy play, not sitting on an iPad or an iPhone looking at a screen. And then we were like, well, let's just do it. And so we did it. And very, very happy that we did. We've got a website, thefunroom.co.za, and we also like to post some pictures and updates on Instagram and Facebook. So all under the same name, The Fun Room Pretoria.